Huawei and SA Tourism invited Siwi and I to come play with the P30 Pro to get a feel of it. And on this 3-day trip that we were in PE, they gave us my phone. And while they gave us the devices, they instructed us that they would be collecting the devices after the 3-day trip. But they also told us, whoever takes the best pictures on this trip gets to keep the phone. Well, it's a camera-centered phone, and I happen to be a photographer. It was like they handed out syringes and needles and said whoever finds the most veins to puncture wins the competition. And I so happen to be a doctor, But speaking about needles in veins, what was not in vain was all the pictures that I took on the trip. Because I never returned my phone, guys. It's still in my possession, and I will tell you now at the beginning of this review, I'm glad I won. I'm glad I won. But guys, before we get into the nitty-gritty of all of the tech speakings, basically, for all the technical geeks, which is like probably most of you because you're watching a tech-orientated channel, let's quickly get the specs out of the way. Okay, now let's talk about the features. Sorry. Okay, now let's talk about what's inside the phone. We have a 6.47 Full HD OLED screen. OLED screen. It's all screen, guys. You can see it yourself. The screen to body ratio is wild. The only thing that that reminds us from this thing that we still need to be a bit realistic with the screen design is the tiny teardrop notch that houses the front camera. But otherwise, it's still all screen, like literally, even edge to edge, it bleeds to the sides, as you can see. Don't get me wrong, I do not mind the notch. I don't mind any notch on these new phones. It's the new design. And like I always say, it's not a big deal. Ever since the iPhone 10 dropped, cell phone companies have adopted the notch. iPhone was the first big player, but other big players too, like Huawei, are excelling in it. They're making their notch their ally. They're not only simply adopting the notch, but they're being born into it, molded by it. Sorry, I have a weird cough. One thing the screen also houses is the in-screen fingerprint sensor and the phone call speaker. It's a bit weird your first time around, but yeah, you'll get used to it, and it sounds just as good as any other speaker. If you don't use the glass fingerprint sensor, you can use the facial unlock, which is my favorite feature, by the way, which is ridiculously fast, guys. Like when I got this phone, I set my girlfriend as my lock screen, and 3 days later, I had to set her as the wallpaper instead, because I would never see her. As soon as I raise the phone to my face, it immediately unlocks the phone. I legit almost cheated on my girlfriend, Sasha, because the lock screen is like a reminder of how great of a woman I have. That's why I put it there. So I would never see her. So that's why I almost cheated. But now that she's my wallpaper, it's cool, I do see her. Okay guys, I feel like there's one thing I have to reinforce in this review, is how amazing this screen is. It's an OLED screen. It makes me wish everything in my life was OLED. My TV, my monitor. It's been a great experience, guys. Watching content on this or playing games has been amazing. There's this full screen mode, like where you pinch in the video to make it fill out the whole screen, and that has been amazing. Like, I can't tell you how much time I've spent on this just marveling at it. Like, I'm not really a phone gamer, right? I don't really download games on my phone, because Korabantwana at my house, and they could ask, sorry, but do you have games on your phone? And no one wants to be in that situation, because I don't want to lie to the children. But I've downloaded a few games on this, mostly because my older phones didn't have 256 gigs, so I didn't have space to waste. But this, because it's a 256 gig phone, and because of the OLED screen, I've downloaded like 4 or 5 games, Sonic, Asphalt, so many games that I've downloaded. The OLED screen just takes it to the next level, guys. I don't know why phone companies are taking so long to do this, but can we please have dark mode on every phone? On this phone, in the settings, you can go to the settings basically and say darken interface colors, and theoretically that's their dark mode. You guys might have experienced this with Twitter's new update. Twitter has updated and included kind of like a dark mode. Trust me, you take dark mode and an OLED screen, bring them together, you're gonna see wonders. The blacks are black, guys. Like, it's so, like, it's vivid, man. I like using those words to describe it because that's what this screen is. Okay, sorry guys, I've spoken too much about the screen. The fridge is even crying. Let me just go quickly make a snack. Sharp. So The other great things that come with this phone are the accessories. First up, we have the USB Type-C earphones. They sound pretty good, they sit well in my ear. I use them every day at the gym, and I don't have much complaints about these earphones. They're good earphones. But the star of the show, or rather I say the star of the box, is this Huawei Supercharge. This is a 40-watt supercharged brick, guys. This is huge. You can already see it, This brick can get my phone from 0 to full within 45 minutes, 40 minutes. I could be wrong, could be less, but I doubt it's very much more. But let me tell you guys, already with this phone's battery, I can get 2-day use from light use, like if I don't use the phone that much, but still use it. But on heavy use, like tweeting, gaming, listening to music, I know I can get a full day use out of it. Like for real, I haven't carried my power bank in a while, just because of this phone. The battery is huge. So combine the fast charging and the big battery from this phone, and you have a heavy user's dream. Sometimes I even watch the phone charge, because I still can't believe how quickly this phone charges. You have to admit, it's impressive. So this phone has an IP68 rating. I can't wait until phones are completely waterproof. But I think we're getting there because we're doing things like removing holes, removing spaces that water can infiltrate the phone. And one of the holes they removed on this phone is the headphone jack. I've moved on. I've accepted, Guti, I'm a headphone jack at things of the past, things of 2017, 2018. We're almost in 2020, so it's either you get Bluetooth headsets or USB Type-C. But one thing that I did wish this phone had is dual speakers over here, because depending on the way you hold it, you can't block the only audio source from the speaker like this. And because I hold it like this and the speaker's down here, I frequently block the speaker and the sound that comes from it. So that's just one thing that I wish was different about this. But pretty much the sounds good. So the P30 Pro is running Android 9, aka Pie. I'm kind of new to the Android ecosystem. I say new, but that's not really true, because I had an Android 4 device. I think it was Android 4 in 2012. Ice cream sandwich, ne? Yeah, Android 4. I left it then, but I promised to return if they made an Android version called Android Scorpus or Android Stock Suite. But now my return is fitting, because this one's called Pie, and I love pies. The only thing they could have done is say Android 9 steak and kidney pie, just to be more specific. But I came back anyway, and Android 9 is fire. What can I say about this OS? It's an Android OS. To me, you've used one Android, you've used them all. See, companies use Android as a base, and then on top of that base, they add their own skin. Samsung uses One UI, and Huawei uses EMUI, which is fine. It hasn't been hard to switch from iOS to this, because the controls are so similar to the newer iPhones. Gesture control is great here too, swiping left or right to go back within apps, swiping up to close the apps, or swiping from the bottom right to enter a useful one-handed mode for all you small-handed children who are rich enough to buy a P30 Pro. The most bizarre thing I've seen though, I say bizarre in a cool way though, is the multitask switch. You can activate multitasking here by using your knuckles. Here, I call it the Kokoko Ngena feature. You literally slide your knuckle across the screen and it activates. So you knock and then you slide your knuckle and it activates multitasking, which is the weirdest thing I've ever seen for me. Sometimes I have a hard time activating it, but when it does work, it works like a breeze. I can tweet and watch Sushi with Wasabi, which is my favorite YouTube couple on YouTube all the time. That George character though is a funny dude, huh? The food, that salad. One of my favorite episodes. Anyway, the phone has an 8 gig RAM on board and 256 gigs storage, which is more storage than I have ever had on any device in my life. It is expandable, you can put another memory card in it, but what are you storing in a phone that's 256 gigs? We are in the age of streaming, why are you saving? Don't you have data, broke boy? No, I'm joking. We are all broke boys. I too still have to save some stuff and free Wi-Fi areas, so I get you. The RAM and the Kirin 980 chip makes this phone perform fast, guys. Super responsive, scrolling and gaming is great here. Daily tasks like tweeting or browsing the net are minuscule for this phone. It's really a breeze. It's a fast phone. What did you expect? It's flagship. The back is glass, so I'll be able to wirelessly charge. But more importantly, I am able to not feel bad for not donating to Rand Yase KFC, because I can rather donate battery life to other people, guys. Oh my goodness, what a feature. It's still very slow though, like I admit it's very slow, but so the practicality is not like amazing, it's really meh. But the fact that I can give you 2% that you need to charge when you're stranded at a party to call Udedi to come fetch you is amazing, guys. Like, we put our phones back to back like this, and obviously you have to have a glass back. You can't just give me an S3. And in a couple of minutes, you'll be able to call Udedi, you know. For me, that's amazing, guys. Like, that's one of the best features on this phone. I know I'm going wild. This is like my first glass back phone, but that's an amazing feature for me. Like, I can't wait to see where it goes in the future. Like, reverse charging is amazing. The cameras. I know this is the part that really matters to you. This is what I know Huawei has been pushing, and like, it's pouring truckloads of money into its marketing for it. The P30 Pro has 5 cameras. That's impressive on any platform. I have to admit, like, now we have to admit, a 40 megapixel wide angle, a 20 megapixel ultra wide, a telephoto 8 megapixel. Also at the back is Huawei's time of flight camera, which is what I use to scan my Kulula or Mango ticket, and it tells me when the plane moves. No, I'm joking. But really, the TOF, time of flight camera, is a depth measuring camera. The camera measures the time it takes for light to travel and bounce off objects using the delay to judge its distance. So like augmented reality and stuff like that. So that helps with all the blurry background images you guys want for your Instagram feed, you know, shout out to your influencers. The truth is, I use the ultra wide camera more than I use the 50 times zoom. It's an impressive feature, don't get me wrong, but I can't see the appeal. Like, after 10 times zoom, the images go blurry, you know, and less sharp. I don't think I would find any use for those images in my life at 50 times zoom. Like, but the ultra wide camera is great for taking maybe group pictures and stuff like that, or my landscapes, you know, big buildings, or wide angle videos. Like on YouTube, we need those. Another impressive feature is the night mode, guys. Yo, night mode. Low light capabilities on this phone. Man, this phone sees better than my eyes at night. This camera can shoot 4K video up to 30 frames and 1080p up to 60 frames. Huawei, why isn't there 120 frames in this camera? There is no slow motion. Have you not been watching YouTube? That's what we use mostly. That's how people can tell that your video is dope. That's how people can tell that, yo, we are sebenza, because slow motion. We drink coffee in slow motion on YouTube. Everything in slow motion. Why didn't you put 120 frames in this phone? But at the same time, guys, I'm gonna be honest about the video. The picture quality is amazing. Image processing, beautiful. Image processing, your pictures here will look clear. People were like, wow, why did you take that on DSLR? Sharp. Pictures amazing. But I'm not a fan of video. I still think the leader of video in the whole industry is iPhone. iPhone takes amazing videos. Apple have got video down to the T. They kill video. Slow motion, they do really well. But this has great images. If you're not really a person who's about, it doesn't take much videos on your phone. Like, I have a full frame mirrorless camera, so there's not much reasons why I'd need high quality videos from my phone. But it would have been nice to have like a second camera that I can pull out at the level of Apple. But I congratulate Huawei for caring so much about the pictures and putting these amazing cameras here at the back. So the cameras, the images are beautiful, but the video we still need some work on, Huawei. We still need some work on. So if you decided to vlog with this phone, this is how it would look. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the video capabilities on this phone. I feel like it softens out things. Like, I don't like the color of how footage looks on this phone. But it is good enough for you to vlog with it. I don't doubt that. And there's Daddy Danger. What's good, Daddy Danger? Yeah, it is good enough. And the sun is set right now, so this is within low lighting. And this phone is a low light beast, so expect your footage to look like this on the front of the camera, which is not bad for a vlog. So what's my final verdict on the P30 Pro? A worthy upgrade. Definitely. If you're looking into buying the P30 Pro, you wouldn't be making a wrong choice. So yeah, that is my review, guys, on the Huawei P30 Pro. Thank you so much for watching this video. My name has been OK Wasabi from Fosolas 1475. The Buddhist Canadian design must be the clouds too close to the ground, so we all touch the sky. And today I was alone reviewing the P30 Pro. I'll see you guys next time. Till again, next week.